Hi guys, this is Tony here from Metal Roos. You're about to sit down and enjoy an interview I just did um, over there, and so do like and subscribe so you can get all this straight into your streaming and into your consciousness as soon as it arrives. So enjoy the interview, and I will. Over to you, Tony. Thanks, Jamie and Laura, for coming on and chatting to us on Metal Ruse from Kingwitch. What a fantastic album is about to be released onto the world.
Thank you.
Cheers, man.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
It's a behemoth of an album. Uh, I was blown away by the textures in it.
That's
No,
all.
cheers, man. Thanks
That's
very
really
much.
nice to hear. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I'd heard some of your stuff previously. As you hear bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And then when you get asked to go, hey, can you listen to this and
Mhm.
actually sit down and listen to it? I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'll give give it its moment. And I was like, I can't actually put my finger on what this album is. Um,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
that something that you honed to do? Like that was like your direction, just to go with the flow?
Okay, like this album was a little different from previous albums because, so the first two albums have sort of we've recorded,
Mm,
we've written and recorded as a band in a fairly traditional manner. Like first one was done sort of in a practice room, then mixed externally. Second one was done in, like a good studio, like a bigger studio. But this one, obviously, as a band, a lot of the songs I wrote during, I wrote the bare bones of the songs during COVID. But then when COVID, sort of when lockdown finished, we had the second album had only come out and we hadn't toured it because of all the restrictions. So,
mm.
then we were touring that. And then, a couple of years ago, we sort of went on hiatus. We had a few things happen, as a band. We split with our old drummer. Me and Laura had a wee baby boy 2 years
Ah,
ago.
congrats.
I broke my leg and shattered my knee. A whole load of shit, just like stuff happened.
Rock and roll lifestyle, right?
Yeah, man, just like these things sort of affect life, unsurprisingly. So we had this sort of like downtime, and then, like 2 years ago, we were like, well, let's, record the album. So we got our the drummer who plays on the album and is playing live shows with us now is a session drummer called Andrew Scott, who's a good friend of ours. We used to play with him years ago. He's like
Mm.
a fantastic drummer. He's like clearly the right guy for the job. So we got the drums done, and then we spent quite a long time on just doing the rest of it over the course of the like a sort of year. Because the other thing is that my own studio was finished by that point, and over the course of these 2 years, I've been recording other bands in there and sort of getting used to it. So it was a good time to start because I had my head thoroughly in the sound of the studio now, and yeah, it was strange, man, because obviously we had a young baby at the time, and it was just like trying to get guitars done and stuff like that. But
We didn't like. I don't think we went into it thinking we want to make this a Doom album or we want to make it like
Mm.
anything in particular. Um, it was just the songs that that we were working with at the time, and like loads of cool albums that like we like personally. Like Zeppelin, and but they're never one thing. It's never one sort of sound, or it's sort of a nice like sort of varied album, and I think that's kind of how the album turned out.
mhm.
Yeah, I've got that. I've got Zeppelin written down here
Oh, have you? All
in
right.
big red pencil. Um,
Yeah.
but only because of some particular parts of one of the tracks that sort of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, I got it. But what I really liked about it was that, you have this reputation of being doom and heavy rock, and you go into this album and it's a bit for everything. There's
Hmm.
acoustic bits. I mean, your vocals are just unbelievable on this album. You've got long songs, short songs. At one point, I'm old enough. I went and saw Candlemass with Messiah Marcolin, and I had my eyes closed, and I thought, gosh, she's got the, and that's not to say you have a man's voice, but you just got the power of him.
That's a huge compliment. I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Oh my God. I was literally going, geez, I'm back at the Tufnell Park Dome in 1988. Oh my God, this is amazing. Ah, yeah. So such, I mean, I mean, you open with a banger in Suffer in Life,
Hmm.
and and you go, I think, oh, I know where this album's going, and then suddenly Deal with the Devil comes up, and no, it's not going there. It's going somewhere
Yeah.
else. You know? Which I think you said is what you're right. You weren't aiming for that. Like we're just going to do this one genre. You were like, we're going to go and just make music we like to make.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, it is pretty much like that, and I like listening to a varied album because it gets boring if you hear the same
Oh God,
thing
yes.
through. Yeah, so yeah,
But like Laura was saying, I think that's almost like a recent thing. You know what I mean? Because like if you think about like I'd say most of my favorite albums are like from the nine or like well, a lot of them are like from bands like Alice in Chains and Soundgarden in the
Mm.
90s. You know what I mean? And like these albums aren't like sort of like single tempo, single feel albums all the way through. Like
Mm.
there's like a lot of variety in them. But like no like I still felt like, we wanted to have a sound on the album. Like the guitar sounds and the drum sounds are like very similar to
Mm.
the album, but it's the songs that are like slightly different, and I think like it still ties together, but like, yeah, I think like Laura's saying, it's important not to feel like, oh, we're going to sound like this to the album, like the music you write is the music you write, and then just
punt it.
yeah, try and
Yeah.
get it recorded as well as you can.
Yeah. I really love the guitar sound on this album as well. Like there was a I actually wrote, I don't know why I wrote this, but I wrote because when I'm listening to albums, like lots of notes, scribbling words everywhere.
Yeah.
And I wrote, is this recording in a studio? Like, I know you recorded it in your studio in Nameless
Yeah.
Records. I know that you did that, right? Nameless, so it's Nameless City Sound, right?
Yeah.
But there was moments where I thought, sure, this isn't in a cathedral somewhere. Sure, this isn't in a, isn't this recorded in a big, expansive, huge room? It had this
Yeah.
real sort of gothic-esque feel to it.
Mhm.
I don't know how you did it, man, but
No, it's a small room, like, well, it's not small, it's a medium-sized live room.
yeah.
But no, there's no samples or like amp sims or anything. It's all real. It's all off mics, but it's
Mm.
just
You took a long time
I took a long
fucking
time
around
to do
mics.
it, man. Yeah, it took a long time to do it. Like I
Well,
couldn't tell you how many iterations of guitar sound we went through. Like oh man, yeah.
but it
I
paid
went down
off.
some deep rabbit holes. Yeah.
It really paid off. It's really epic.
Mhm.
It's like I was this. I'll get to my favorite on the album, which is The Last Great Wilderness, which is
Mhm.
like, oh my God, what a track, right? But you go through these things. You've got some acoustic opening, then you've got things
Mhm.
that build, then you've got things that just smack you in the face straight away. It's a pleasure not to know where you're going with it.
Mhm.
And I think that's very rare these days. Very rare.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
That's really
Very, very rare.
that's cool.
So I have to ask, how did you get, how, I mean, obviously you're a couple, but how did the band come together?
Well, me and Laura were in another band for a long time, years ago, called Firebrand Super Rock. That was like more
Great
sort of
name.
straight up traditional metal. Yeah, yeah. And that sort of reached its logical conclusion, and we were like, so we met in that band, and then have been like a couple ever since. When Firebrand finished, we were sort of not necessarily looking to start a band, but like
Just a jam.
it was like we did pretty much. King Witch ended up starting almost immediately. Firebrand finished, and then we met up with a friend of ours who was a bass player. Well, at the time, we barely knew him, to be honest. And then we were talking about our ideas, for a less straight up metal band. And I think we just had a jam like the next week. Then we got the original drummer in the week following. And yeah, it just kind of started up quite organically, but very quickly, a lot more quickly than we were anticipating. We were looking for a sort of break, but it just kind of happened, and that was that. So the first EP was actually recorded just as a demo for ourselves, really, but then we ended up just releasing it and booking gigs off the back of that, and yeah, that all sort of happened quite quickly. So yeah, it was a weird one. It was going to be initially we thought of it as like a sort of project. We were sort of a bit burnt out on the old band, and then yeah, it just happened, which I think is the case for a lot of bands, really.
Yeah, yeah, but obviously, I mean, I haven't heard the other band, and I would love to actually see if I can find some of it so to hear it.
Yeah,
Um,
man, I think it's all still on Spotify, so
I
yeah,
will
check it
I
out.
will look for it. But I just think that the sound you've hit on is it's sort of I hate the term retro because I hate that word, but
Mhm.
it's a really lovely warm spot for people like us that go, God, yeah, that sound is something so familiar but also new.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, how did you? I have to say, Laura, recording your vocals must have been so tricky.
Actually, this album it went pretty smoothly,
Yeah.
and I'm like really. I generally hate the sound of my voice, like, or it's not that I hate it, but I'm really like critical
Oh
when you
yes,
listen back to recordings. But this one, I felt I was really, really happy when I heard the first demos, and I was like, "Fuck, these sounds really cool." Like this is cool. I feel like, like I really like the sound. I like the sound of that Jamie managed to get. Um, it was nice and warm and didn't feel like it was. I always think I sound really shrill, like some sort of old crazy lady. Um, but it didn't sound like that, and yeah, it was just a much smoother process this time round.
yeah, and it's really you don't sound shrill, Laura, not at all. In fact, if anything, as I said, you have that sort of where a lot of that doom metal vocals can be really shrieky.
Mm.
We know that. But doesn't have that. This has that full range of rock and roll. It's bluesy in areas.
Mm.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, like I mean,
Yeah,
I think like Messiah, like he's obviously like I think he's an amazing vocalist,
yeah,
but I love sort of old sort of rock vocalists, like Robert Plant or Janis
yeah.
Joplin, like that kind of style of singer, which and they're all like kind of got a bit of blues in them.
Mm,
So, but adding that to metal, making it big as well, is like
yeah.
I think it's a nice mixture.
I think it is. You've got a bit of a bit of Bruce Dickinson in there flowing around a bit, and it's all this sort of textures again, which fascinate. Now you said you wrote the music in lockdown. Lyrically, was it written then as well? Did you write that separately lyrically to the music?
Some of it was no, not during lockdown.
No.
Once Jamie brought the music into the jam room, that's when I started writing the lyrics for it. So the majority of the lyrics were written. Uh, well, maybe like half the lyrics were written, but then when we went into the studio to actually record, um, I did some fine tuning on it because I had more time to sit with it, and we recorded bits and we're like, that sounds shit. I'll maybe change the lyrics here. And Jamie and I also, which this is something we never usually do, we came up with like vocal ideas on the day of recording, which like for See Lies was one of them at the end section. There's just a
Mm.
little, and we never normally do that, but it worked. It kind of worked in our favor, I think, for some of the songs,
Yeah,
just sort of off the cuff.
yeah, and I think and again, I've heard lots of people say artists when they record that way say you often go, oh yeah, it sounds more real. You haven't forced that lyric. It's
Yeah,
just come in the motion in the moment, um,
yeah.
and that's a fantastic thing. Now, in your local scene, are you? Is there a lot of bands similar to you in Edinburgh scene?
Not necessarily like us.
Not like us, no,
Oh,
man.
kind
There's loads of great bands around, but like,
They're probably more sludgy or
yeah, sort of sludge
thrashy.
or like full on sort of, yeah, death metal, No, not really a lot of bands like us, that I know of, unless, but, but the
So-
scene's really cool. It's really
yeah,
inclusive. I think, like, I don't know, Scotland's not a massive place,
no,
like, so I think it's a lot better than it was, like, say, 10, 15 years ago in terms of, like, there's no cliqueiness really. Like, I'm sure there is in places, but not like there used to be, so
mm.
bands, you play really like, a good band's a good band. You'll end up, being on bills with other bands that are totally different, but still good. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty supportive scene.
And that's what again I do because I don't know much about the Edinburgh scene. So it's nice to hear that there is that sort of support amongst the bands because
Yeah,
this is not LA. We're not in Sunset Strip, are we? This is
Yeah.
this is reality.
certainly
Um,
not. It's pissing rain.
yeah, trust me. Look, I miss the rain. I can't remember the last time it rained here. So yeah, you might say I hate the rain, but you live here. You're like a little bit of rain would be
It's
nice
the
every
rain,
now and
yeah.
again. So obviously you've done some tours, you've done some festivals, haven't
Mhm.
you? Did you enjoy doing those?
Yeah. I mean, like after we formed Kingwitch and we brought out our demo just for ourselves, I think we put one of the tracks up online and we managed to get Sweden Rock straight off of that, which was it was like, fuck, we've
Brilliant.
never played a gig as a band.
That was the first gig we ever had booked.
Oh my God.
That- yeah, that was with Queen. Megadeth and fucking Twisted Sister.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
yeah,
I'd be clenched for the whole period of
yeah,
Yeah.
time.
yeah.
That was brilliant fun. And we've done like what like
Bunches of them, like Desert Fest and Bloodstock and
Malta Doom and
Volta Doom and Siege of Limerick across Ireland a bunch of times, or a couple of times, and
Wow.
yeah, yeah, always brilliant. Like playing a good festival is always fantastic. It's just like it's just a cool thing, you know. Desert Fest was the last one we played down in London, and that's
that's
obviously for
cool.
us it's really cool because there's like loads of really great bands at Desert Fest, so it's
Yeah.
you know it's a fun way as well because it's that kind of festival, you know, like in the city across a bunch of venues, so you can kind of mill about and do your thing, and
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
really
really good
cool as
fun.
well.
And you haven't got too far to travel. I mean, it's not that long from
Yeah,
there to
that's
there, is
us.
it?
Not too bad, like no, no.
7 hours.
In UK terms, people will moan about that. It's about as far as you can go in the UK, but then outside of the UK, it's about Europe
Oh
and
no,
America.
it's
Oh,
It's hilarious. I married an Australian, and when she was in the UK, we went to Scotland. We had a honeymoon in Scotland, right? And we drew it up in one day. But my dad's like, "Don't you want to stop somewhere halfway? I mean, it's a long way." I'm like, and I was saying, "I think we should." And my wife's going, "No, we can go all in one day."
yeah.
So, over here, that's nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It blew my mind. Like I just didn't know. I think, well, yeah, we should stop overnight in Leeds. No, we don't need to. We can just go, carry
just
on.
go.
Yeah, I think that the beauty spot's halfway up the UK, it doesn't draw you. Like, oh, we'll stop over in Doncaster for the
Yeah,
night or
yeah,
something. Nah, you're all right. I'll just drive on.
yeah. Middlesbrough. No, it's all right.
Yeah,
We
totally.
can keep going to that. I mean, Edinburgh itself is such a gothic city. It's like
Yeah, man.
it's like maybe the most haunted city in Europe and all this sort of full of beautiful Gothic architecture and history. Does that wind into your musical um, story?
I don't know. I mean, like,
I mean, we used to live right in the centre of Edinburgh, and all the venues you used to play are right in the old town, which is like you say, really gothic. And
Mm.
I don't know. I guess it's like it is an amazing place. You totally take it for granted. I grew up in Edinburgh all my life, like and you get used to it. But it's a beautiful place. So I guess
maybe to some extent, um, like, yeah,
like our first practice room was like a vault that kind of I was actually underneath
Oh,
an old church.
brilliant!
There's some weird experiences in there. So
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
was creepy.
I guess subconsciously it probably does get in there somewhere,
Adds to the ambiance of the
Yeah.
album.
Yeah.
It
So,
was damp and it sounded shit. That was the end.
well, do you know what? That's a lot of early metal, isn't it? Damp and sounds like shit.
Yeah, totally.
You've hit the Swedish Norwegian metal scene
Yeah,
on the
totally.
head.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'll use that on a social media post at some point. Like,
Yeah. Oh dear. So, as I said before, the sound is really big. It's really wonderful because I've listened to it maybe 3 or 4 times now, and I haven't yet found all of it, and I don't want to find all of it either. I want to come back to it in a week's time and find something different. It's what I want from my music, and I think this is the sort of album that you're making, is that there's always something slightly different that you didn't hear listened before, which makes it a special record in my eyes.
yeah, definitely.
I love the way you've called it three, nice and simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
Just like we can call it laziness or like what's the word for like total ideas above your station. Like if it's good enough for Zeppelin, it's good enough for us.
I
We'll just go
think
for
it's
it.
good. Like wearing on their par with. but you say that, but as I said, I can't remember which track it was. It might have been Little Witch. I don't know, but there's something there where I was sitting and going, "Gosh, that does have Zeppelin. I'm feeling Zeppelin." Or here,
There's a few moments where I would agree with that. Like yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. But I want to talk about. I really want to talk about Last Great Wilderness because truly, what an out track to finish the album on. I'm so glad you put it at the end and not in the middle because you'd be buggered by the end of it.
Yeah.
It's such a great. Did you write it all in one go, or was that several tracks that you mixed to think that maybe this from here and this from there?
No, it was all written for that song, but not in one go. If you like, the sort of initial
The middle section was thought of in the practice room.
was it?
Yeah.
Hmm. I don't remember that.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Because you sang it.
So I remember the initial riff, the ba bow do
Yeah,
do do, just came up on that on the acoustic, like in the back room in our house. It's got a really weird. It's a really old house, and the back room is like there's no right angles in the room, but it sounds really cool with the acoustic. And I remember playing that, just the ba bow on the acoustic in there,
yeah.
and that came up with that. And I think the rest of it was all sort of developed from there.
I love it. It's I am a secret prog person deep down inside my soul,
Yeah.
and so I put that on, and I'm not. Do you know what? These days, I'm not even scared to say the four-letter word prog. It used to be a dirty word. It isn't anymore. And I listened to that, and I had that feeling again, where it went from one texture to another, from one motif to another. But it really took me on a journey.
Hmm.
What is it about? Can I ask you what the song is about? Because I don't have the lyric sheet, see, I can't read the
Yeah.
lyrics because I haven't got the album yet. But what is that one about?
Well, I had a title before there was any lyrics. So we kept the title, but the lyrics are kind of about when you're in a sort of you need to clear your head, and sometimes the only way to do that is just to get out into sort of to be in with nature.
Yeah,
So like it's about like being cleansed by the sun. Like it's I guess that's one of the songs that's kind of more about like oh it's not mythology, but like people used to worship the sun and the moon and
yes, yeah, pagan, so to
yeah,
speak.
like sort of
Mm.
it's kind of like that. So it's like how it's kind of hard to explain. Like just
I think both of
um
us have always found like just like obviously if you live in Scotland you're really lucky and like getting away up into the hills or something for a day is like a better cure
Mm.
for the weight of modern life than
yeah,
anything else.
yeah.
It's just like it just works. You know what I mean? So I know that's crept up in your lyrics a few times, but it's like it's a powerful thing to
It is. It
to do,
is.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, and that's another thing, isn't it? That what I also liked about your band and your sound is you don't. I mean, there must be a Scottish element in your music, but I don't think you don't come out and you're not tartan wearing, you know,
Trick,
you,
trick,
oh,
trick.
first this one," you're not, there's because some bands do that, they really
Yeah,
Yeah.
hone
yeah,
in on that, and fair enough, that's okay for them.
yeah.
But you're more, I think your sound's much more universal
Hmm.
than local,
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
totally, man. Yeah.
which
Yeah, I
I
think
thought
there's
was
one word in one of the songs. I can't remember what song it is, where it's like a sort of slip of a brrr. I can hear a sort of rolling
Uh,
of the R's. Like that's fine. We'll just keep that
the
in there.
accent always bursts through for a random phrase or two when you're recording the album. You're like, okay, I can stay
Oh,
through.
yeah, stay because of course it can. It's human. You're you, right?
Totally.
it's who you are, right? But yeah, so now I'm gonna listen to it again after we stop recording, and I'll be able to listen to that song now and take a feel of um what it's about. Because again, a person who loved lyrics. I'm a lyric person, so I really enjoy the dive and the the nuances of
Hmm.
it. And so I'm looking forward to getting a copy and actually being able to read them because
Yeah,
when you listen to it, you hear it, but you don't. You need to
yeah, of course, man. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
sit
I
there
mean,
with
I
it.
love lyrics as well.
Yeah, I think some Scott. I mean, you guys make a brilliant lyricists. You Scottish have got something way with words.
Mhm.
Not more than a lot of us Sassenachs actually do have. That's my grandmother was from Aberdeen, so
Oh, okay,
beautiful,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
beautiful,
Nice.
beautiful
You get a
part of the world.
passport then.
Thank you, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful part of the world. She was
Yeah.
born in Aberdeen, but she was raised in Newcastle. It's not her fault. Um,
No, okay.
Newcastle's pretty cool. You get pretty decent folk there.
Mate, the
Yeah,
Geordies are fantastic, mate. The
definitely.
Yeah,
Geordies, you can rely on a Geordie, man.
Yeah,
definitely.
And you can tell what they are. If they're angry or they're sad, you know what they are. There's no in between.
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, they are awesome. They are awesome. So, I saw that you've had one single off it so far. Is that right? Swarming Flies. Is that the single you've had
Two
off?
now.
Our second single
Two.
came out literally this morning,
Oh,
Sea of Lies. So that's just come
perfect
out.
single choice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect single choice. I really enjoyed the video as well because it really brought the power of your vocal uh, to someone who hadn't, if you hadn't seen them, seen you sing, you wouldn't know what. It's really good to see the power from all the band coming through
Thank
in
you.
that scene.
Yeah, it's we wanted to kind of make it feel a bit sort of, like sort of disjointed and slightly sort of jittery and kind of in your face and um yeah, but yeah, there's another one that's out today, and that's a lyric. That's just a sort of lyric video using the album artwork. Um, but yeah, we were happy with the. Thought that was a good choice for
Yeah,
number two.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I think look, it must be tricky. An album full of really great tracks. Trying to,
mm,
release a single from that would have been difficult. I would imagine that conversation sitting down around the table, you know.
You've got like, do we release the songs that we like, or do we release the songs that we think other people are going to like? And it's like,
Mm. Yeah, I know, and there lies the problem, isn't it? But I
yeah,
also like the fact you've only released one or two. It does irritate me when you get to a band and by the time the album's come out, six singles have been off it. You've
all
heard
right,
the
yeah,
yeah,
album, you've heard the album already, and when you get it, you skip past those six things because you've heard it 19 times,
yeah.
and
yeah,
and it sort of ruins the
yeah,
Yeah, totally, man.
right.
That's the other thing. Like again, it's just some like promotional tool folk try and the thing, which is fine. That's fine, whatever. But I totally agree. It's like if a band's giving you six songs already, they're going to probably pick the six best ones, and you've got an 8 or 9 track album. It's like
that's
you're kind
right.
of giving the game away there. Like,
Yeah, you have, haven't you? Give them the plot away before they've even sat
yeah,
down in the movies. Yeah. Look, it's a triumph, guys. I'm really pleased to chat with you because it was I wasn't expecting it. Like I mean that nicely. You hear a lot of music. I hear a lot of music. I put lots of things go on through my ears every single. If these aren't on, these are on 24/7 in my head. I don't know if
yeah, yeah,
my wife actually knows what my ears look like. Um,
yeah,
uh, and so it was just nice to firstly find a band with a female singer with such power and such presence,
mhm,
which is something I am always looking for because I champion women in music greatly.
mhm.
And also to have a band like yourself, guitarist. I mean, you're very underestimated, mate. You're a good guitarist, mate. There's some big sounds on that album, and some
Mhm.
beautiful mixing. It's really, like I said, I thought it was done in a church. I thought this is big. This
Yeah,
is a really big sound. This has to be
yeah,
in a massive, massive space where they've
yeah,
got all these huge speakers. I don't know. It comes across that way. So
yeah.
yeah, thank you for that album.
Thanks for
No, man,
taking the
thanks for
time.
taking the
Yeah,
time to listen to it. Like, yeah, it's
yeah.
Mm.
awesome.
Oh man, I think everyone should listen to it. Go
Yeah,
go listen
I
to
think
it.
so too.
Yeah. Well, I think because we talked about this before, but I don't believe in boxes and genres and you put you there and it's a way of selling records, right? It's a way of record
Yeah,
companies going, well, I know what the product I've got. Like this is
yeah,
an Apple
Yeah.
Watch, so this is an Apple Watch, if you know what I mean, right?
yeah,
Whereas you come across bands like yourself and you go in and thinking, oh, this is going to be like a typical Doom album, all right? I'm going in with this. And then something else happens and it's such a pleasant surprise
yeah,
and such a delicious meal of music because it's not just
yeah,
the same one thing, like you do. It's like you
yeah,
feel satiated coming out at the end of
yeah,
the album.
yeah.
Um,
Totally, man. I 100% agree. And I think, the best albums are almost always have an element of that to them, you
yeah,
know?
absolutely. And you've done it here, man. Whether intentionally or non-intentionally, you have you have hit the nail on the head here.
Thank
Nice one,
you.
man.
Yeah, because it comes out. I should have said that before. 27th of June. That's right.
Yeah,
27th, yeah.
On
27th.
what's it? Listenable Records.
yeah.
Listenable, yeah, yeah. So this is our third album with them. They're good guys, like they've really
Mate,
been good
that's
to
great, isn't it? You've got to get on with your record label. Cracky's there,
100%.
you got to trust them. They got to trust you, and you got to trust them because it's,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and unfortunately, there's not always the good ones in the industry, right?
No, totally, man. We've been really lucky with them. Like been like probably the only over the years like positive experience we've had with, record companies and stuff like that has been with them. So, that's 7 years now with them. So yeah, no, they're great. Good guys.
Brilliant, brilliant. And are you going to take this album on tour soon? I know you got a young family, so a bit tricky,
Yeah.
but
We've got a few gigs booked, so
yeah,
we're doing a bunch around the UK over July, August, sort of through to October, sort of spaced out. And then hopefully we'll do a few festivals and stuff like that. So for sure, yeah, we won't be doing like 10-day, 2-week tours anymore. For the foreseeable anyway. That just, it's not practical. So,
No.
but no, we'll get out where we can for sure.
Yeah.
Well, one day you have to get. We've got some great Doom festivals out here. You should come out to sunny Australia and try and play Doom in the sunshine.
Oh, I'd love to get across. Witch Skull, an amazing band.
They're good friends of mine. They're from
Oh,
Canada,
yeah.
where I am. So
Awesome, yeah.
yeah.
They're very good.
Oh
They're
my
one
God,
of the ones
mate.
that
They
again,
live.
a band with a unique voice, amazing band. Like,
But and live, mate. Honestly, these three stoners turn up, and you think, oh, here we go, and they just go,
yeah,
Yeah, I can imagine.
I can imagine. Like,
That'd
Yeah.
be cool to see them.
yeah. Honestly, yeah. Oh God, I've seen them too. So many times now. I think I'll probably get a free pass. Like,
yeah.
but yeah, do come out if you ever get a chance. And I think Witch Skull are going to be absolutely chuffed to hear that you mentioned their name. They're going to love it because they don't
Yeah.
believe in themselves, and I mean that nicely. They don't.
Really?
Really
They're
should.
so mild, and they're like,
Love
oh,
it.
you know. I'm like, really?
No, I mean,
Really?
I think they're amazing. The last album's amazing, but Adrift Would Cross, the album before that,
Oh.
blew me away. Like,
Oh,
I was
mate.
like, I hadn't heard them before that, and I was
Yeah.
like, the
Burning Blue
voice
Fire.
and the riffs, it's just like, yeah, so good, man.
Yeah.
Burning Blue Fire is amazing. Like yeah. Often you see, I know it's gone off track, but often you see Marcus here in Canberra. He'd be sitting in the middle of the city, just sitting there jamming away on his acoustic, like just
Oh, yeah.
on a bench somewhere. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
it's just
Nice.
great.
Yeah.
But anyway, brothers in arms. But thank you for coming on, sparing
you're
your
more than
time. I know
welcome.
you've got busy young families. Not easy to mix it all
Thank you.
together.
Yeah, it's been really nice chatting to you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I know I can go off a bit, but this is a fantastic album. And I really hope that you get the plaudits for it. All the other albums are great, but this one is just sort of, I don't know, hit that mark.
Nice
Particularly, as I
one. I'm
said,
glad you think so. Like,
Man.
I think we feel like that the same. Like, I think
Feels different.
it's yeah, like you said, I feel like we've hit the mark
yeah,
more than on the first two, which we're really happy with. There's always been some element that I felt was a compromise for just reasons, whatever reason. But no, I'm really happy with this. So yeah.
yeah. I mean, just the way, I mean, I'll just before I leave you, just the way Little Witch rolls into Last Great Wilderness, it's just there's moments like that which make you smile. They genuinely do. People think that heavy music can't be uplifting. Oh, how can't it? It really is. There are moments that catch you, and you just go, "Yeah, that's really
totally,
cool." And I wish I'd thought of that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, thank you very much. You've made our day.
Oh, it was a pleasure. And again, if you ever get over here, I'm sure Rich Gold would love you to tour with them.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Oh,
that
that'd
would be
awesome.
awesome.
Or vice versa. They're very,
Yeah,
very
man. 100%. I think I actually spoke to one of them ages ago when the second album came out.
When you were buying it.
When I was buying it, I'd messaged one of them, and at that point, I think they were going to be coming across for Desert Fest, but this is before lockdown all happened and all that.
Yes.
So I think I had a conversation, I think, with the bass player about
Tony.
something.
Yeah.
But then Tony. But then everything got cancelled.
Ah, mate, that's that. You got it really hard over there, you poor bastard. So
yeah, 100%.
you always get it tough there. You got poll tax and Thatcher, and then you get really bad COVID. And
The building sites were open, but we couldn't play any gigs. Like, could
Yeah.
go to work. Could go to work. Had to go to work. Didn't get to play guitar.
I got almost thrown out of it. We were at a gig. So side note, but COVID. But I was having a drink, and you could only sit down and watch the band, right? So you could get the drink, take it to the table, sit down and drink the drink, but you couldn't drink the drink walking from the bar to the table. And I got this bouncer come up to me and go, "Oi, stop doing that!" I said, "What?" He goes, "You drank the drink." I said, "How does me drinking my drink from the bar to the table cause COVID?" He's like,
man.
"It's all the rules." I'm like, okay.
That whole time feels like a dream now, man.
It
like,
just
all
feels like yesterday.
mad things.
Weird, absolutely
It's
weird.
really weird. Like,
Yeah, but some great things did come out of it. Sadness, but great things like you said, the music you wrote and the things that people did, and people creativity and stuff that did happen because people had time to be creative.
Yeah, totally, actually, yeah.
So we have to look at positives. We have to look at positives, don't we?
totally, man.
We have to look at
This is
positives.
very true.
Yeah. Well, again, Thank you. You've been fantastic. Lovely guys.
Cheers, man.
Really enjoyed chatting to it. I hope the album, as I said, when it comes out on the 27th of June, which will be on all streaming platforms, I can imagine.
Yeah.
We can buy physical media from if it's from Bandcamp or from your site. Where would we go for that?
From listenable records,
Listenable
you'll have it
records.
on their Bandcamp or
Yeah.
record shops
Right. Brilliant.
of quality should have it in stock.
Other record shops are available.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there's no HMVs anymore. So that's no.
No, totally, man. There's no record
No.
shops at all.
No, they've all gone. Oh, the one in Canberra is.
Oh,
But
there is
anyway.
one. Yeah.
There's still a couple here, like
Yeah.
the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, the major ones, but that's all. They died years ago, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I still like the small independent ones anyway. It's much more fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
totally.
I know.
You get a little bit more different stuff in there. So
Totally. Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, I could ramble on. Sorry. Take it easy.
No, man, it's all good, look.
I could just keep talking. But have a good evening or good day.
Yeah.
And good luck with the album. Good luck with all the reviews. I hope that people love it. I'm sure they will because they'd be mad if they don't. And I hope you get out to tour it as much as you can because live it would be something special, I think. So
Yeah.
it'd be
So
difficult
rehearsals
live.
been really cool so far, so yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant, man. Yeah, people. There's always someone that will say something silly, but good luck to them.
Yeah.
Good luck to them.
Yeah.
That's you know what you've done and you know what you've made, and that's all you can say, right? People will be negative if they like to be. They're just idiots.
Yeah.
Just say that.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, thank you very much.
Bye.
Have a good night, man.
You too. Yeah. And again, as I said, keep doing it. And I'm looking forward to the next one. I know that it has not even come out yet, and I'm looking forward to the next one. So. See ya.
Cheers.
Awesome, man.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.